Okay, I think I'm good. Oh,
All right. Can you see? Is my camera any better than what it was last time? Because I know we had a lot of lag last time. I got a new.
um,
I got a new camera set up and stuff.
okay. I think you're good. Hold on. Because Skype
All
likes to
right, no
change
problem.
my microphone volume. Let me
Mine,
make sure that's
mine does
off.
too. Hey, you have to in order to change the volume, there should be a little thing where it says audio, and it says automatically change the audio, and it like automatically changes if you get louder or lower.
Okay, no, I have it off. Yeah, I have it off. All right. Yep. Good. Now, make sure. Check on my XLR setting. Okay, I think I'm good. Minimize.
All right.
So what camera did you get?
Well, I say a camera, but I actually using an iPad. So.
Okay. Whatever works. Good.
Yeah, well, whatever works, man. It's just, and I apologize about the Discord thing. I was trying to get all the things that I could. I downloaded the Craig, like you said to do, but nothing was working. It was like your computer's not compatible. You must have like a certain kind of laptop or something. So I was like, I figured it's just a gaming computer or something. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh well.
Okay.
And I do also apologize about the late time. I had to take my nephew to his dad, so that was it was a good drive there. So I do apologize, and I apologize if I've been irritating at all. I know I can be.
Hold on, let me put my phone on vibrate. That right there.
Hey.
All right. Group chat. All right, so what is the top 10?
Yeah, top 10 of the decade. I figured that would be easiest.
Of the decade or the gen?
From 2010 to 2020.
Oh man. Shit. That's
What'd you do?
way harder.
What did you do?
I did from PS4 and Xbox One.
Okay.
Ooh, shit. No, I could
well,
hold
you
on.
know what? I have all of mine are on PS4 and Xbox One except for one of those, except for one on my list. So I guess if you wanted to do that, we could.
All right. No, what do you want to do of the decade? We could do it. It don't matter. Man,
Okay.
that's
I'm just
tough.
trying to make it easier. I'm trying to make it easier on you because I know how I know your time strain.
Shit, that's hard, bro. Cause like GTA 5,
Right.
First Last of Us. Ooh, shit, something gotta go, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man. Man.
And I think our lists are going to be way different. Just I do, but I don't know.
All right, let me. All right, I'm gonna have a couple honorable mentions. I have to. I
have some as well.
Cause I had 10, and then I had a bunch of honorable mentions, and this is just from this past gen. All right, so let me. Something got to move. Geez. All right. I'm gonna move Zelda. Move Zelda down. I'm gonna move. Good. All right. All right. I think this is gonna have to suffice, man. All right. All right. I'm ready when you are.
Okay. You sure you're all set? You're all good.
As good as I'm going to be. I play a lot of games, and that shit tough.
All right. All right. Here we go. Fixing it. All right. So I'm back with my friend xChaseMoney, man. What's going on, dude?
Chilling. I actually just got done playing a little bit of Spider-Man, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which that game I've put so many hours into Valhalla. Like I'm literally 65 hours in that game. And I'm still in probably the first act of the story. So
yeah.
There's a lot going on in there. So
Yeah, I think that's my least favorite Assassin's Creed out of all of them, though. Honestly,
the
if I'm gonna be
entire
honest.
series or of the last three?
Well, the last three.
I'm about to say, because
No, the last three.
Syndicate is ass. Yeah. I obviously, I mean, I'm putting all these hours, so I like it. It's definitely not as good as Origins and Odyssey. I would say Origins, Odyssey, and then Valhalla. I like Odyssey's loot system though, because I played on Nightmares, so I never experienced the low XP gain that everybody else was getting. But yeah. So.
Man, that Spider-Man, that new Spider-Man, is something else in it. The Miles Morales. I thought it was going to be one of those like a one-off game where it's like 3 hours and then it's the end of it, but it's actually like a full like 12-hour game.
Yeah. To me, I still think it's. Did you play Uncharted: The Lost Legacy by chance?
You know, I haven't played any of the Uncharted games.
So there's 3 games that I feel like are similar: Miles Morales, Infamous First Light, Uncharted: Lost Legacy. So all 3 of those games they take place either after the main game or they have something to do with the main game. It's not a brand new game. It's kind of like a expansion, glorified DLC. I know it is. It probably is. They says it's about 12 hours long. That includes all the side quests, but I think the original game was about 12 hours long, so it's probably about the same. But it is more of to me a continuation of the first game. But it's a nice length. For $70 though,
yeah,
you could probably beat that game in 5 hours if you skipped all the activities. Honestly, $70.
That's what I did with the first Spider-Man. I just went through and played the campaign, and then went back and did the extras last. And
how many hours?
I think it took about 8 or 9 all the way through.
Okay, that's not bad. I like, so for me, the ideal length of a single player game that's not like an RPG is probably between 10 to 15 hours. Like, I feel like if you're playing a linear game and it's not open world and it's like 25 hours, I don't mean from a money value standpoint. I just mean gameplay seems to be a little bit too long. And then there's, what's a really short game? Metal Gear Ground Zeroes. 2 hours. They tried to charge us $40 for that, but people complained, so they dropped it by $10. So
$30 is still kind of cheap for a 2-hour game, though.
And that's why people didn't buy the shit.
Well, look, I got you on because it's almost the new year. It's almost January. We're doing this the 4th of December, and I wanted to get on here to do our top 10 games from 2010 to 2020, so the decade. And I know our list is going to differ just because we differ in how we see video games. I can tell just from your YouTube videos and talking to you last time. I know it's going to be different. So I'm going to go from 10 to 1. You can go whatever order you want to go, but let's swap one after the other. So do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
All right, you go first.
All right. People are going to hate me for number 10, but I put the new Avengers game on there just because I realized it was not a good game, but I have been waiting for an Avengers game for so long that once it finally came out, I was kind of like, okay. And I put a lot of hours into it. The camera was crap. The story was all right. The play was kind of crap, but it was still. That's the only reason I put it on there. I could have put it as an honorable mention and put Breath of the Wild at 10, but I think I put more hours into the Avengers than I did the Zelda, if I'm going to be honest.
All right. I'm gonna let you rock with that, brother.
I know. It was a terrible game. It was rough.
You know what it was?
Should have.
They tricked us. That first 2 hours, I said, "Oh my God, this is amazing." And then like you got to like the ship, and then it was like, all right.
It was slow after that. Yeah, I know. I agree. I just put it on there just for that reason, just because I was so hyped for it, and then it let us down in such a big way that I was like, I have to put it on there just for that reason. Like I was going to put The Last of Us 2 on there for that reason, but that game was so bad that I was like, it can't even be in anything that I do. You know, just for that reason. It was so bad.
Yeah. Okay. So am I going now? We're alternating?
Yeah.
Is that what okay. So look,
alternating back and forth, yeah.
Okay, mine are in no order. It was hard enough that I had to come up with 10 games. That's one per year, basically. Right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And we're gonna let people know up front that this is an extremely difficult thing to do. It will be hard to come out with 10 games over a 3-year period for me. But 10 over 10 years, so there's going to be honorable mentions. There's going to be stuff that I forgot. There's going to be stuff that it's great, but it can't beat some of the other games. All right, so in no particular order, I'm going to go with let's go with something that people might not expect. Cuphead.
Man, I was gonna put that on there, but I didn't know if that categorized as an actual video game or just like a just something you play, kind of like Among Us. Like I don't really consider that a video game. I just consider that. I don't know. You know, honestly, I don't really have an answer. I just figured it's something you get on there and play with your friends, not like an actual game you can buy at the store. No, I guess I have a different assumption of what a video game actually is.
Well, I know you're a Crash fan. I didn't forget that, so I expect Crash. But to me, it's as much of a video game as Crash because like it's laid out kind of similar with how you get to the level. You go to one of the little circles and it starts the level, and then they have bosses for each world. It's literally the same thing. You can play a single. You didn't play it at all, I'm guessing. You played it, right?
I didn't play it. The Cuphead? No. Yeah. I never played Cuphead.
Do you have an Xbox?
I don't. I got a PlayStation 4.
Okay. It showed up it's on PlayStation now. I don't know if people know that. Cuphead is now on PlayStation. Okay, I don't. I think it's $20. It might not even, I don't remember. I know it was 20. That's the other thing about the game because like how much the game costs makes a difference for me. Like I don't rate games that are $20 or $30 as harshly as a $60 game. That game, I think when it came out, it was only $20. So Cuphead definitely for me.
Okay.
When I first seen it, I was in love with the art style. I love that art style, but it was a fantastic game. I say Cuphead.
Oh, next on my list, I'm gonna put Far Cry 5. I think that was in my. I told you, man, we're gonna differ.
Oh, that's good though, because if we all said the same games, that'd be kind of whack. All right, go ahead. I like Far Cry 5, by the way, but go ahead.
Because the reason I put 5 on there is because I think it was such a big. I didn't really care for 4 that much, but 5 was such a big bigger uphead than. I'm trying to see what it's called. Far Cry Primal. Like I remember when Primal was terrible. I hated it. Was terrible. And I love all the. Yeah, dude, I couldn't. I quit halfway.
Was it the weapons?
And I never.
Because you don't have like. You're a caveman. You know what I mean? It's like you're hitting people with sticks and there's no memorable characters either.
Right. I think it's a little bit of everything, if I'm being honest with you, about Primal. It was just terrible weapons. It was I think the story could have been a little bit put together more precisely and more because it was a little bit boring at times where I was like, what's the point of me even playing this? But I don't even know what happened at the end because I quit in the middle. It was just like I can't do it anymore.
I don't even remember, and I beat the game. I enjoyed the game. I mean, you like 5 better than 3?
Absolute. Whoa, hang on. Well,
Three's 2012, so that would be in the last 10 years. For me, I liked all the Far Crys that I played actually. Now that I think about it.
now that I think about it, I do like 5 better than 3. Now,
Okay.
3 may have had a better storyline, but I enjoyed I enjoy the bliss moments and all of that from 5. I just enjoy. I think it had better gameplay for me.
The only
I
thing
spent longer times with that.
Okay. The only thing about 5, and did you play New Dawn? I'm assuming, which is
Yeah, I don't know if I really liked it as much as everybody did, but yeah, I played it.
okay. So I just thought about that. So like New Dawn is a continuation of 5. Like it's like I don't know, it might be about 12 hours again, just like Miles Morales. It's like kind of the sort of the same thing. And it came out like a year later though. What? No, it wasn't even a year, dude. They put out a new Far Cry like 10 months. That's ridiculous. But 5, I really like 5. The only thing that I really miss from the 3 and 4 is better wildlife. Like when we're on 5, you're running into your traditional your bears and stuff. But on 3 and 4, there's like cheetahs and alligators and all kind of wildlife that's just wouldn't be in the Far Cry 5 universe. So I really like that about 3. And I'm hoping with 6 we get more of the exotic animals, you know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, okay, let me go with another. No, I mean it'd be easy. All right. Last of Us 1, not 2. Right. Last of Us 1 is a masterpiece for me. I don't even throw that word around. I've thrown that around about 5 games in like the last 10 years, by the way. All right. The game is amazing. I never played anything like it. Literally from the beginning of the game, the way it started off with Joel and his daughter and all of that, all the way till the end, top tier. Last of Us 2, I don't know what the hell that was, but The Last of Us 1, it was an amazing game. I really didn't appreciate and then Last of Us 2 was too long. We don't even need to do it. We don't even need to do it. We know what the problem was. And they lied to us on the trailers, but yeah, Last of Us 1, yes.
So The Last of Us is on my list. It's at number 4 on my list.
Okay.
Just because when I was playing it, I thought I was playing a movie. Let's be honest. I thought I was watching a movie and was actually playing along with it, and that's what I really enjoyed about it. So Last of Us is number 4 on my list as well. Just so we don't have to come back and re-talk about it, go ahead and just put out there it's on 4.
Okay.
All right. Next on mine, I'm going to put Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Ooh,
I'll tell you why.
Okay, go ahead.
I am such a big Pirates fan. Like, I am a Pirates fanatic. I read every book about just to have a game like that you can do all that type of stuff was just fascinating to me.
Short and sweet. Here comes the cat. Blinky. You want to say hi? So I like Black Flag for the ship. All the pirate stuff.
Yeah.
What's his name? Edward? What was the main character's name? Edward? It was Hatham was his father. No, that's Connor. I'm tripping. That's 3. Edward? I don't know.
Hang on, let me look it up.
Okay. Anyhow, while you're doing that, there's just a couple weird things about the game. Like as soon as the game starts out, the guy has eagle vision and shit. I was like, all right, come on. Like, he has all the skills, you know what I mean? But I never thought that I would I never thought that I would miss ship combat in an Assassin's Creed game until we didn't have it anymore. Because on 4, like I'm assuming you ran into like the legendary ships. That took like 20 or 30 minutes to beat, multiple tries. That shit was amazing. And then we didn't really have it anymore. On Origins, they tried to do it a little bit. Couldn't really, like, it's not, so I really feel like that's a really fun part of the game now. So I like, that's not a bad pick. It's not a bad pick. As long as you ain't say like Syndicators, the Syndicate is ass, bro. Unity is ass. That was
terrible. Woo. It was between Black Flag and Odyssey, but I think I have such a tender heart towards Black Flag that I just had to pick that over Odyssey.
Okay.
Which
That's a good
Odyssey
pick.
may be Odyssey may be the better game than Black Flag, but
Yeah. Well, we know that.
and
Like,
Ed,
go ahead, my
yeah,
bad.
it's Edward Kenway and Connor
Okay.
are the main characters in Black Flag. So yeah,
Okay. And that's the other thing. You mentioned it. Like, there's games that I know are better than other games, but they're just not on my top 10, my favorite. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
There's games that I
Mm-hmm.
know are great games. That's just they're not fun for me, so I don't really play them like that. You know what I mean? And there's games that I know
Yeah.
are trash that I love, so there's that too. All right. Hmm, interesting. Let's go. Let's not do low hanging fruit again. Well, it kind of is. Um, The Witcher 3
Okay.
game is fantastic. More than anything, the gameplay was fun. At that time, I'd never really played an RPG where they had so many different voice actors for every side quest. I felt like I didn't really hear the same person twice. You got plenty of bang for your buck. They had 16 free DLCs. Then they had like 2 to 3 full expansions that were the length of an entire video game, anywhere from 20 to 40 hours. Um, it was I just game. It was a lot of it had a slow start, but once you really got
Yep.
into it, I thought it was a fantastic game. It was also my first Witcher, and usually your first game out of the first game you play out of a series ends up being your most memorable and a lot of times your favorite. I'm sure people, there's people that feel like maybe The Witcher 1 or 2 was better. I didn't play those. I only played 3 so far. So I'm gonna say The Witcher 3. Um, Great game. And I noticed that Assassin's Creed and other games started to steal their format. Like Origins, and the moment I play Origins, I say, yeah, they've been playing other games and they started implementing their stuff. And that's not a bad thing because it's a good thing. Uh top tier shit. And it wasn't riddled with microtransactions, which is now a talking point for me on games. So yeah.
I've never played any of the Witchers, but I'm curious, why was The Witcher 3 your first one? Are you not the type of like you didn't play 1 and 2 before you played 3? Are
I
you just not
never
that type of
really do
person to do
that.
that?
I usually when it's a sequel, I will go out of my way most of the time to play the previous games, as long as there's not like 8 of them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I really wanted to play it. It was the new game. I was already doing walkthroughs. Also, around the time The Witcher 1 and 2 came out, I didn't really have uh I didn't really have the time to play those games, and it wasn't even something I didn't really know much about that game like that. So, I started to expand my gaming like interests by the time The Witcher 3 came out. So I went ahead and just played that. Kitty. All right. So yeah.
So for me, the next one on my list is just like you said. The first one you play in the series is probably going to be your favorite. And I had watched the movie before I played the game and realized they based the movie on the game, and that's The Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Okay. Now, which one is that 2015? You know what year that was? Is that
Let me see.
because I
It
know
was the
they
most recent. It's the most recent one.
okay, then then that was probably 2018, I believe.
This,
2018.
yes, 2000. Yeah, September of
Okay.
18. Yeah,
Okay. That's a
yeah.
good pick. I love that whole I think it was a trilogy. Not well, yeah, because they rebooted it in 2013. I played that. Then they had it was a Rise of the Tomb Raider, but it was only on Xbox at the time. So I bought an Xbox to play that, and then the last one. Okay, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. I like the variation because it's very easy to say what I'm about to say now. GTA 5. Uh, I feel like a lot
Yeah.
of people would have that in their top games. I feel like it's a little too easy, but I can't not have GTA 5 on my list. Um, I mean, we had 3 characters that I enjoy using. The map was huge. It was the thing about GTA is they go out and they get a lot of like notable voice actors or people we recognize on the GTA games, and then you're like, oh, I didn't know this guy was in this game. All those activities, the heist, even though I didn't care for the multiplayer. I'm gonna say that out front. I know a lot of people was in love with it. I was not. The only thing I liked was the heist.
I thought.
Yeah. It didn't even work for like the first 2 months either. That for me, if your game don't work in the first couple weeks, I will get off and I will not come back because there's so many other games. I'm not going to sit here and keep coming back. So it took them a long time to get the heist online. I did like those; they were fun, but I'm sure it's probably really good now. Like the online, I'm not playing it though. But GTA 5 definitely top 10 games of the last 20 years or 10 years for me.
Yeah, it's number 3 on my list. I really enjoyed it, and it's one of those where you care about the character's fate. Mm-hmm. Like you're like, oh, I don't want nothing to happen to this guy or what. I can't remember their names right now, but it's like you don't want nothing to happen to them, so you just, and that's how you know it's either a good game or it's a well thought out type of deal.
Yeah, but it's very important. Okay. Go ahead. What's next?
I'm gonna put God of War.
Of course.
You have to.
Yeah, I mean, what needs to be said about that game? Like, it's
on the list. There you go.
Yeah,
it's like if you haven't played it, you need to play it. It's just, yep. And I think this is better than all the originals, in my honest opinion.
From what standpoint? I think for me, story-wise, because there's a lot more character development with Kratos, and we get to see a side of him we never saw before. Because especially like the first 2 games, he's just out here just killing everybody. You know what I mean? We know about him, but we don't know about him the way we know about him on the new one. On 3 though, I like the gameplay on 3 because you remember you got to kill all the gods and take like their power and then use that to get across the world, you know, from like Hermes' boots, the guy we ripped his head off and we used it to light up them rooms and all that. And then we had like all those weapons and all that. I like that better. And there was way more boss fights on the newer one. You fight Baldur 3 times and then you fought like Thor's sons. And that was like it, but it was still fantastic. So for you, what standpoint do you feel the game is better than the other one?
I think it's some of the points that you mentioned. Like we get to see a different side of Kratos that we haven't seen before. He's now a father. He's buried his wife. Now he's fighting for and showing his son, hey, now you have to step up. You have to be a man. And here's how you're going to do it. And I enjoyed that concept because they took it. I wouldn't have thought they would have taken it that way just because he's such a mighty god, and it's just, you don't really see gods that way. You see them as mighty and they don't care. They don't have feelings.
Right.
And I think they took it in a different direction for this one. So that's why, honestly.
It was never supposed to come out though. They had finished the series, but they found a way to come up with a storyline and a direction. That first boss fight, I ain't never played a game where the first boss fight was that fire, by the way. When Baldur comes knocking on your door and all that shit was top tier. But all right, what's next? Oh, it's my turn, right?
Yep.
It's easy. A lot of these are gonna be easy now. I just want to put that out. Spider-Man PS4 for 2 reasons. Number 1, Batman set the standard for superhero games, and in my opinion, that was the only game that was treated properly with budget, with a studio that could really do the job, and it never felt like it was just a tie-in game that they threw out there.
And everybody cared about it. Like, it wasn't just one of those games. It wasn't one of those games that just came out to go along with the movie, like the original Spider-Man. Those games were terrible.
Right.
And it was just, they now care. They're like, look, we see how big of an impact these superheroes are. Well, let's put some energy and money into these games because people are going to buy them. And that's what they did with Batman, like Arkham Knights and et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, they finally did it, and they finally gave us a great Spider-Man, not where you're fighting the whole time. You're actually being Peter Parker, doing some sciencey stuff.
Exactly.
It was great. It was great.
Yeah. So Spider-Man came in and it met Batman's standards. And not only that, to me, the impact of Spider-Man and Batman's games at least felt like now these kind of games will be taken seriously, and we may legit get a real big budget Thor, Iron Man. Now we have the Suicide Squad coming, and stuff like that. Like that, I felt that the impact is going to be a lot greater than people think, and we'll see years down the road when we start to see more of these bigger budget superhero games. Because the other games like that, there's that Thor and Iron Man game that's on. I think they're on PS3. The game's ass, man. A lot of them games is ass. They're low budget. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They're all movie tie-in games. So anyway, Spider-Man 100% super impactful.
That's also on my list. That actually took the number one spot for me. I thought that was fantastic. I mean, that there were flaws, but there's flaws in every game. So it's like you can't make a perfect game because everything's not going to happen like you wanted. It's technology. But from a playing standpoint, a story standpoint, and the characters were fantastic. I'm excited to see where they're going to go if they make a second one besides Miles Morales.
Oh, they're making one. They have to. That studio is working on Ratchet and Clank. I forgot the whole title.
Oh,
yeah, it's Insomniac Games. So that'll be out. That's scheduled to come out next year. So after that, I'm willing to bet that they're going to probably work on Spider-Man and another one of the games that's on my honorable mentions that I'll get to later. So,
all right. Okay. Next on my list, I'm probably a little biased. This game I put Crash 4. It's about time.
Okay.
Down on the list because I'm a big Crash fan, and
of course.
Insane Trilogy is on my list as well. It was good to see a brand new Crash game that was, because I don't know if you've played the other ones besides the Insane Trilogies from like the Wrath of Cortex, and they made it to where it was an open world Crash, and it was terrible. Like it was. I don't want to be jumping on trees and getting diamonds for somebody and then taking it. It was kind of like a Spyro. It was kind of what they did, and I thought it was terrible. And then to go back to, it was kind of like like the movie series where they're like, screw everything else you just saw. This is the new sequel. This goes along with the previous 3. And let's be honest, this one was the hardest Crash game of all 4. Oh my.
I'm glad you said it. You beat it?
Caused me. Yes. And I have played I've played the Insane Trilogy like 4 or 5 different times just because it's my favorite game, but it's like Crash 4. You can play it back, but I don't know if I have the mental capability to play it back.
Crash 4, first of all, I agree with everything you said. All right. Like, this is what happens. We get games, we love games, and then for whatever reason, a sequel comes out and they completely change the foundation of the game. Like, it's the little things. On the first Crash, I'm a simple guy. I know Crash is the first game to do it, but like they have the map and you go to the bubble and you start the level. I preferred that to the like standing on this thing and then the little warp thing and then you going into the portal. I was not a fan. I mean, it doesn't overall impact it, but the fact that they went back to the core of Crash and they did not make the game easier, because let's be honest, games have become progressively easier. Generally speaking, every 10 years, the games are easier. And a lot of the times, in order for you to get a challenge, you have to put it on hard, very hard. It's very rare where you could just play a game the way it's designed and have it be a challenge for the most part. But Crash was just that. I'm playing it because the thing is, the first game was hard. 2
really
was. I mean, you had some challenges on 2, but it wasn't too tough. 3 wasn't really that tough at all, except for like the racing levels that annoyed me a little bit. Well, 4, man, I will never play that game again. Wait, yo, I said it. I was disappointed that was only nominated for one Game of the Year category, and I'm also very disappointed that game sold 82% less than the trilogy. Not many people bought the game. It's better than the other three games, in my opinion, in every way. Mm-hmm. Level design, replayability. There's more cutscenes and story. You could play as 4 people. They have skins, and there's no microtransactions from a game that Activision put out.
Yeah.
So
the only thing I would say about Crash 4 that I did not like is playing as the villain. Like I'm fine with putting the crocodile guy in there, but I didn't really like playing with Cortex just because it felt like obviously the story wouldn't be there, but you kind of figure out halfway through that Cortex is going to wind up turning anyways.
Of course.
So was there really a point in playing 2 levels with the bad guy, which made the game even harder because I think he was probably the hardest character to use.
He was. He had no double jump. He had no floaties. I hated that guy. And the thing is, the game got progressively harder. That last level was complete aid. It felt fan made.
Well, here's the thing about what Crash 4 did, besides what the previous Crashes did. The previous Crash, which you can tell, was they would put 2 hard levels and then 2 very easy levels where you're just like, okay, this game is getting good. But on the new one, it's like you get through the easy levels and there's nothing left but hard levels. Like there's no time. Oh man, that was what was worse for me was there was no catch your breath levels. It was all in. Let's go.
I can't remember the guy's name. He platinumed every Crash. He platinum, bro. How, yo? How, dog? You got to get all the way to the flashback tape without dying to be able to get it, for starters. He did that. And that last level, you know what it was? It was the masks. The integration of the 3 different masks is what made the game like that. Like those masks, I hated the masks. Not because they were well made, but when I seen those masks, I knew it was about to be tough. Especially the one where you flip upside down. Oh man.
Yeah.
But anyway, fantastic game. I'm with you.
What they did, real quick, what really irritated me is you would forget about the ability of the mask when you went to the next one. Like you're like, okay, well, what does this one do? And then you would die to figure out what it did.
Yep.
Like you were dying to figure out, okay, well, this one makes you defy gravity. This one makes stuff invisible. It was. But yeah, Crash 4, it's about time. Just because, it's about time we have one.
Okay. This is an easy game for a lot of people. We've already said GTA 5. I'm gonna go with Red Dead Redemption 2. And
all right.
I mean, I don't really have much to say about the game. The game, it's not, and I'm gonna say it up front. I'm not picking Red Dead Redemption 2 because of the gameplay, because the gameplay is not that great. All right, it's from a fan fiction standpoint. First of all, it's a prequel that ties this with the first game, and they do a fantastic job. They brought back all of the voice actors from the first game to reprise their roles, and just to be able to see real character development, have the pacing work well, and I'm not going to give away a spoiler. I'm sure somebody hasn't played it or they're playing it now. To find out something really simple, or you think is simple, really early in the game has a major impact at the end of the game, and you have no idea, was great. Like, I literally was like, yo, okay, this happens to him. When did this happen? So I go and look at a YouTube video, and I found out it's like super early when something really important happens, and it was a boring ass mission. Anyway, the game is the all the characters, the supporting cast, all that shit is top tier. But the game is extremely flawed. They lead you to believe that, feeding and brushing your horse is important, and you need to bond with this horse and all of that. You can grab any horse of any kind. It doesn't really do anything. Upgrading your weapons really has little to no impact. Yeah, you need to clean your gun, but like it's not really going to do anything. The game is extremely clunky, but it's funny because sometimes you'll be riding your horse and you'll just hit a stick and fly in the air and all of that. All that stuff is bad funny, right? But that's not why I played Red Dead. I played it for the story. And the fast travel system, I'm gonna say this right, it's the worst I've ever played. It's the worst fast travel system of all time. It's garbage. That's a great game.
Never played any of the Red Deads. I want to. I just never, because like I think I mentioned this last time, I'm not a big Western person. Like I'm not a big horse and saddle guy, but of what everybody is talking about, I think I should play it. Just because people say the story is everything.
That story, and because when you play prequels, you know what's going to happen, right? You already know most of what's going to happen, but it's like whenever you deal with a prequel on a TV show or a game or a movie, it's about how they show it. If you already know what's going to happen and you can still be excited for the event, I mean, somebody did a good job. So, great game. I love the first one as well. A lot of people feel the first one's better, and I understand why.
That's kind of like, have you seen Captain Marvel?
Yes. I've seen all those movies.
Do you remember when everybody was wondering how Nick Fury got that eye patch?
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, it was the cat that scratched him, and it was like, we waited this whole terrible movie to find out he got scratched in the eye.
I didn't like that.
That's kind of how it is with games, where you're just like, if you can see it coming, then it's no good. But then if you can't see it coming, then it could be a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you a Star Wars fan, by the way?
Of the first three, or the original three.
Did you see most of the movies?
Yeah, I've seen all of them.
So yeah, I mean, it was trilogy. There's a whole prequels on there too. So, all right. What do you got?
All right. So before we do this, I got to read a liner real quick for a sponsor. So just give me 2 seconds. It ain't gonna take long. All right, so powered by the enhanced refresh technology, Raise Energy delivers with a performance-enhancing energy drink profile that aids in the most often overlooked categories. Raise Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates. It gives you a smarter and a more healthier option. You shouldn't have to settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Opt for the #1 fan-voted energy drink on the market today with Raise Energy. Go to checkout, use my promo code HPP1000. And you'll get 30% off your order. All right, man. Appreciate that. I usually tone them in, but I think it's easier just to do it live, just less work. So, well, I've only got one left because 4 was The Last of Us, and then 3 was GTA 5, and we've already talked about that. So I'm gonna go. What I'm gonna do is to take the time in. I'm gonna give some of my honorable mentions for the ones we've already mentioned.
Okay.
So 4 was Last of Us. 3 was GTA 5. So for 4, I'm gonna put honorable mention Breath of the Wild.
That's on mine. That's on my honorable mentions as well.
Man, the reason is it was childhood. Zelda was just childhood because I remember when my cousin would come and he would have the old-fashioned GameCube back in the day, and we would be slaying on Zelda, and it was just one of those games. And then the Breath of the Wild, it's a beautiful game. It was a great story. Yeah, that's all you can say.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Zelda franchise, and it was nice to play a game closer to the Ocarina of Time type of feel. So that's fantastic. Plus, it was one of the early games on the Switch, so that was definitely on my honorable mentions as well. So I like that. All right. Am I going again?
Yep.
All right.
We're going to continue the transitions.
Okay. So I've been telling people about this game. This is for 2 years. 2 years. And keep in mind, this is one of those games. I never played any of the games in the series. They're not connected. Like Final Fantasy, you can play any of those. Except, I mean, there's like 13, and there's like 3 games out of that series, and then there's 2 games in the 11 series. Anyway, Final Fantasy, a lot of those games could be played without playing the other ones because it's a whole different story cast and everything. So, people kept talking about this game over and over and over. I was like, I'm gonna play it. All right, Persona 5, dog. I played it. I was like, man, there's just no way this game is gonna be as good as people saying. Because I'm tired of hearing about this. Seriously, it was, and I'm like, all right, so I played it, and then 200 hours in, I realized that the game is really like that. I love RPGs. Say that right out front. All right, and I understand as an RPG fan that most of the games have a slower start, but once it gets going, once the ride goes, once you get to the top of that roller coaster, you're gonna ride that hoe all the way down to the end. And when you get off,
yeah, you're
gonna be like, yo, we might need to get back in that line and ride that again. Persona 5 is definitely one of those. I love this is one of the games that really reminded me how good Japanese games are and Japanese RPGs are.
What's this game called?
Persona 5.
What's this game called?
Persona 5. It's if you go, I encourage everybody that has a PlayStation and PlayStation Plus to go every month to check and see what games are free. Since they released the new consoles, they had that PlayStation Plus big ass bundle. There's like 14 games on there. I think Fallout 4 is in that bundle. I think Persona 5 is in that bundle. There's a bunch of really
Fallout.
Yeah, high profile games on there for free. Go on there, even if you don't download them, add them to your library, and then you can download them whenever. Persona 5, I believe, is in that library. Story's great. Story's fantastic. The gameplay is great. I don't really know what to say. It's a great game, and there's all these plot twists and stuff. A lot of the cutscenes have an anime feel because it is basically an anime as well. No microtransactions. For anybody that is like a Pokemon fan, you capture these personas, and then you use them yourself. And I don't know, man. They have all these different elements, and the boss fights are some of the played in the RPG where you might fight this boss for 30, 40 minutes, and they're hard. Mm-hmm. And if the boss kills you, you will start from the beginning, but eventually you'll beat it, and you get like, it's always nice when you play a hard game and you finally beat whatever boss it is. Like, you really feel good about it.
Yeah,
it'll do that for you as well, bro. The game is fantastic. It's also one of the games that you're going to need several guides for, because there is a lot going on. I'm telling you right now. I had like 5 different guides from because you can fuse the monsters together to make new ones. You can carry over skills, and bro, it's a lot. 200 hours. The game is like that, bro. Persona 5 for sure. I know that's not going to be on a lot of people's list because it's not a huge game. You know what I mean? Like, it's a smaller niche game, but it's a really good game. All right.
Well, let me ask you about this. You said a guide. Am I less of a gamer if I can't figure a level out or where a thing is, and I go on Google where that thing is at?
No. Man, let me tell you something. When we was growing up, they sold us. Remember the Prima guides? I don't know, because what year were you born? 98?
I was born in 98. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember 98. So you're 22. Do you remember the Prima strategy back in the day?
I remember them, but I don't think I ever used them. I was the generation of cheat codes.
Okay.
Where you would go in GameStop and pay $20 for a cheat code book, and you would get everything in 5 minutes and waste $20.
Oh, dude, yeah. Like we grew up with those. We grew up with the strategy guides, which was the entire guide for how to beat the game. All these things are now, kind of extinct because of the YouTube on-demand videos and all that stuff. But no, man, we grew up on strategy guides for RPGs and stuff and things like that, because what could happen back in the day is you could play a whole game and not get something that would have helped you the entire game. Like, there's different summons in Final Fantasy that you have to do a series of things for that you would never get unless you had a strategy guide. The other thing is we couldn't afford strategy guides. So we would go into Barnes and Nobles and we would take pictures and stuff, or we would write down, we would sit in Barnes and Nobles and write down codes and all of that stuff. The internet today has told people that if you look stuff up, you ain't a real gamer. Who cares, man? Like, you play the games you want to. You don't impose no weird standards on somebody. I've been in the middle of a walkthrough, and I will tell the viewers, I don't know this locker combination on Resident Evil. I'm going on Google right now, and I will pull it up. I'm not walking around this entire facility to find a damn piece of paper. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. All right. On mine, well, I got GTA 5, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put in another honorable mention. I'm going to do Super Mario Odyssey.
Great game.
For the,
you know what I'm saying?
Great game. Great game.
Man, I don't know how they continue to do it on Nintendo with those levels. Been doing it for 30
I
years.
know. I got to get a new Switch. My Switch, I don't know what happened to my Switch. I got to get a new one. But it's man. So they do something with Mario that I think if PlayStation would grab it, they would screw it up.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like what Disney did to Star Wars. Like if Lucasfilm would have continued it, you know what I mean? Like I think it's kind of that way. Like whoever gets their hands on it, they're gonna screw it up.
Some people need to stay in a lane. Nintendo has this lane. I know their level designer. He's been with them, I think, since the beginning. They just have, when you play Nintendo games, the level design is unlike anything you'll get on any other game on any other platform. It's just very unique, and it's super creative, and it's fun. Good game.
Do you know what I wish they would recreate? Like they would remaster and release it for Nintendo. Would be the very first Super Mario Party. You remember that game?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For GameCube, I remember. My brother, and my cousins, we put so many hours on that first party, and then the other ones were just okay because they did the ultimate. But yeah, that's one I wish that they would remake. Honestly,
don't hold your breath with Nintendo. I tell you what, they ain't joined the remaster wave. They got over on me too.
They're not doing nothing.
They had the Mario. God damn it! I bought it. It's on my shelf back there. It was like this Mario collection, and I'm thinking, like, because the other games, when they do these remasters or remakes, remasters more than anything. I love remakes more because it's really built with new engines and all that. Anyhow, like they was like you'll get Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. I said, and I'm like, so I'm thinking it's going to be HD and all of that. Man, I bought that damn collection. I put that in my Switch. Super Mario 64, black bars on the side. All it was an emulated version of the original. They changed nothing. So if you're hoping for a remaster from Nintendo, you're more likely to get that. Black bars, it's just playable. So
they just switched it from one platform to another without doing nothing.
Yeah, that's exactly what that was. Yeah.
All right, next up on yours.
I'm gonna save this one. This is a sleeper. Well, man, this is really hard. Let's go with Uncharted 2. The Uncharted games, the series period. The first one I believe came out in 2007. You gotta remember, 13 years ago, man, like we didn't have video games that felt and played like movies. That was the first game where I played that and I said, like I'd never played nothing like this. I wasn't really used to like great voice acting like that. And they have, like, you play Spider-Man, they have those like cinematic epic ass scenes, especially on Miles Morales, where like the bridges are collapsing and you got to web them and tie them together so the people can get across and all of that type of stuff. Like, and then, Uncharted, you got the scenes where you're hanging from a bus and it's about to break and all of that. It's just like Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider did a lot of the same stuff. So I'd never played anything like that. Uncharted 2 is my favorite one in the series. I do like all of them. I like 4 as well. But 2 is my favorite. So I'm going to say Uncharted 2 is on my... Wait, did that come out in the last 10 years? If it didn't, then I'll say Uncharted 4. But it's gonna be one of them. One of those games will be on my top games. Yeah.
I'll fact check you real quick.
Okay.
Just because because you know how listeners and watchers can be. They're gonna go, that's not on the top 10.
Yeah.
Well, you missed it by 2 months.
2 months. All right. Well,
Came
we'll
out
go
October of 2009.
Okay, we'll go with Uncharted 4 then to appease the sticklers. Uncharted, we'll say, well, you know what? Now I got to reevaluate. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna. Nah. We gonna since it wasn't 2. Uncharted 4 is an honorable mention. I am going to go with. It's gonna be a surprise to people. There's a game called Yakuza 0 that I would like to put in there. I was very late to the Yakuza party. There's like 6 of those games, 3 spinoffs. I had never played it. One of my good friends, I value his opinion. He's like, yo, you should play Yakuza. I said, how is it? He said, listen, it's a great game. He said, now be warned. So it's in all Japanese, so you have to read subtitles. I'm like, oh, man. He said, I'm telling you, it's good. I said, all right. I try to mix up the content a little bit. I'll play all different sorts of stuff. I said, I'll try this. That story, man, boy, it's a prequel to the first game anyway. So he told me it would be a good place to start since I never played it. What better way to play it than to play the first game? And that turned me into a fan instantly. I immediately played 2 games after that and a spinoff called Judgment, and now I'll be playing the rest of them. I intend to play almost all the games in the series. That game is fantastic. I'm picking that mainly because, it's easy to say GTA 5 and those other games. But I did want to pick something a little bit different, but I really like that game. It's a great game.
Well, number 2 for me is the Crash Insane Trilogy. I got it right there at number 2 just because I couldn't pick one. But I don't know if you knew this. Did you know the Insane Trilogy was 10 times harder than the original games?
Yeah, people told me that. I didn't know that.
They went in and I didn't realize, I guess because it had been so long before I played, but some of those that were in the first 3 did not make their mark in the games until like the Crash Team Racing. And so they implemented them into the 3.
I had no idea.
I didn't know that either. But Crash Team, did you play the new Crash Racing game?
I was going to. It's a funny story. I was going to buy the game, and then they added a battle pass 2 weeks after, and I just was like, I'm not. And it didn't work that well. My friends, we was about to play it on live stream. I was about to buy the game. They couldn't get theirs around. I just didn't buy it. I left it alone.
You're not missing out.
Really?
For one, if you play, because you see what they did with 4, like you can either play the original or a new version that they had.
Yeah.
They kind of did the same thing with the racing, and if you went with the original, you couldn't upgrade your vehicles. And so it was rough. It was like, well, I remember going back to the main menu in the beginning, in the very first part of the game, the very first game, and doing it, but you can't do that. It'll give you a warning. You click this, you're not gonna be able to upgrade your. And I'm like, well, what's the point of even playing this game?
Yeah.
But yeah, so Crash Insane Trilogy. Not gonna spend much time on it. We done talked about it. So, all right, you're up.
This is actually the last of my top 10. Again, I didn't want to pick all like mainstream games, but there's this great game that was on the Xbox One called Ori and the Blind Forest. It's a beautiful game. The soundtrack is, people really underestimate what a good game soundtrack or score would do for your immersion on the game. That soundtrack is one of the best I ever heard. Same thing goes for Persona. I did not mention that. Persona 5 has one of the best soundtracks. God of War has a fantastic soundtrack. Obviously, games like Kingdom Hearts. The soundtrack on Ori is amazing. The platforming is top tier, and it's hard. Like, very important when you play a platforming game that the game is relatively difficult. You don't want to just get on a platforming game and just, just coast through. There's puzzles. So not only do you just have your like Crash, there's a little bit of an element of like kind of a puzzle, but not really, except for the mask at the end. But Ori, you really gotta like figure out like, damn, I'm stuck in this particular area. Like, how do I get past it? So you try a bunch of stuff and then eventually you get past. And then the sequel is great as well. I haven't quite finished that yet, but I put a gang of hours into that as well, and that's more focused on adding combat. But it's a beautiful game. It's a great game. It's probably free. If you have Game Pass, you should check both of those games out. Wow. So that's my top 10. If I went through honorable mentions, I'd legitimately say if I sat here and did honorable mentions or games that could have been top 10 or should have been, I could have probably come up with like 20 more easily. It's very hard.
Yeah. Well, name a few that you got on your honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions, Ghost of Tsushima, probably my favorite game this year. Horizon Zero Dawn.
I'll be honest. I did not like Ghost of Tsushima. I thought it was boring. I don't know. I own it. I guess you just have to be in a certain mind state, and I guess I wasn't. I don't know. But I didn't even finish it. Like, I haven't even finished it. Maybe I should just go back and restart it.
I thought it was great, and I love that samurai like era. So anything that has that, I'm probably gonna play it and like the game. There's certain eras that I just love, like the 40s mafia style stuff. Anything like that, I'll play that as well. But I forgot. LA Noire would be Mafia remake. LA Noire would be on there. I have Sekiro, Monster Hunter World. I have Sunset Overdrive.
Is Monster Hunter World any good?
With friends, I have 350 hours. It's
okay.
And the thing about Monster Hunter is I've never played a game where once you get far enough, every fight feels like a boss fight. And the thing is, let's say we're in a team of 4 people. The game is, those monsters are hard. Like, and what they'll do is you get a certain amount of times your character can faint. So they'll give you 3 feints. Sometimes you get 2. That means one person gets knocked out and then they come back in and somebody else gets knocked out. You fail the mission. You have to do the whole mission over.
Yeah.
You get no reward. It's grindy. It's loot based and all that kind of stuff. But I really enjoyed that game. And one of the biggest sleepers, 2 of the biggest sleepers real quick. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Great game. Only thing I didn't like was the map. The way the map worked, that was garbage. But the gameplay was phenomenal. I played on like the Dark Souls-esque difficulty. I love that game, and somebody made a surprise appearance at the end. And then there's a very underrated game called Dying Light that I don't feel very many people appreciate it at all. But that's just to name a few. I have more than that, but I'm not going to go through all the games.
Yeah, just to name a few of mine real quick. I have Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the Mafia remake. I thought that because I remember playing the first Mafia on PlayStation, and it was so bad. Like, you couldn't even I remember you couldn't even play it just because
the mechanics.
I don't know. It was, yeah. And then I got, of course, Miles Morales on there. So.
Okay. All right. I have 2 questions for you.
Sure. Go ahead.
All right. Number 1, because we didn't cover any of these. All right. Top 3 multiplayer games. On the fly.
I don't really play multiplayer games. I think it's Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I played that a lot with my brother with zombies. Which I don't understand why they made a Call of Duty without a campaign. That was a little confusing to me. I don't know if they rushed it out or what, but
that's what it was.
Is that what happened?
There was a campaign, but they couldn't finish it, so they just canceled it. There's leaked footage of it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, that was 4. That was
check
Black
that
Ops 4. 3 didn't have a campaign. 3 had a campaign.
Hang on just a second. Let me grab it and see which one it is.
Okay, I think it's 4 though.
No, you're right. Black Ops 4.
Okay,
You're right.
yeah.
You're right. That's what I'm looking at right now. 4. Okay. Yeah. 4. Man. Let's see. I like the Star Wars Battlefront to a certain extent on multiplayer. Man, I'm trying to look at games here and see. I guess you could put GTA 5 in there. It wasn't the best multiplayer, but
you at least played
it. I at least played it.
Yeah.
And I know those suck because I don't really play multiplayer.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, again, all my stuff has been in no order, so just a reminder to people that watched. We're going back to 2010. So,
okay.
Black Ops 2.
Okay.
I love Black Ops 2. I don't love Call of Duty anymore. I haven't loved Call of Duty since PS3. I mean, honestly, if it didn't have Battle Royale, I don't know how well the game would be doing.
For me, it was when they went. You were no longer shooting. Your enemies were now like robots and aliens. That was kind of a throw off for me.
Yeah, that kind of did it, and they did that because Titanfall was coming, and the original creators of Modern Warfare 2, the 2 lead guys, were the creators of Titanfall. They needed to hurry up and do something. So that's why that came out.
Well, that was a mistake on their part.
Oh, dude, that game was ass. And there's a lot of the younger people who their first Call of Duties may have been like, the more recent ones, like Advanced Warfare and all of that. So their experience is different.
Right.
But from a person who played Call of Duty 4 from 2007 up till the newest one, I could tell you, for me, Call of Duty on PS3 kills Call of Duty on PS4. I hated Modern Warfare 3, and I would play that over almost all the Call of Duties on current gen. But Black Ops 2 is fantastic. I love Black Ops 2. So that's one. It'll be a little bit of surprise because people don't see me playing this game a lot content-wise. Overwatch is a very well-made multiplayer game. I don't play it anymore because the queue times. I can't wait. I can't wait 20 minutes in between matches. They changed the format where you have to pick a role. Before you were able to just go in and pick your character and rank. Now you have to pick a role. So let's say you pick support, you can only be support. So now they have to find you a group of players who need a support person. But what happens is if you want to play damage, you're going to wait a long time. The 20-minute queue times have killed the game for me, but as far from a design standpoint, it's a really well-made game. And it's also refreshing to play a game when people aren't hiding in corners. I've never in my life seen anybody on Overwatch hiding. You can't play like that on that game. You can't go prone and lay down and shoot people in the back as they walk past. It's all about objective play. So you always know where the enemies are going to be. It's just you outplaying them and coordinating with your team. It's a really, really good game. It's really fun. Overwatch, Black Ops 2. Probably NBA 2K13 or 11. It's like the highest rated 2K game. Anybody that's played 2K11 in 2010 when it came out knows how good it was at the time. Now it's very important that we remember a lot of games were good when they came out. That doesn't mean by today's standards, we would have some of these games that we've talked about come out, because things have changed. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But those three.
If we weren't doing a 2010 to 2020 multiplayer, I would put Halo on there, like the first 3 Halos from Xbox, because I think those those were fantastic for me. Those were kind of my childhood as well. I think I'll throw that in there.
The game was huge. I couldn't afford an Xbox at the time. I have an OG Xbox now, but I got that like 5 years ago. I never really got to play Halo, except at a friend's house. I thought it was cool, but I never really got to play it. Yeah.
Dude, I couldn't afford anything when I was younger. We were, I remember when I had the OG PlayStation, the gray. It was the very first one they came out with. I got it for Christmas one year, and I remember my sister had gotten sick and she threw up in the PlayStation, and we had to wipe it clean, take it apart. I was like 6 or 7 maybe, and then it was like the PlayStation was gone. And it was like, oh no, what are you gonna do? And then like 3 years later, I got a PS2, and then that's why I'm so late getting the consoles now, because it's just like I'm just now trying to catch up. Like, I don't want to get the PS5 because I've heard there's been problems with the PS5, so I think I'm gonna wait for the second go around to get one, just for that reason, because I don't want to get one and it be bugged and I just lose $600.
Right.
You know.
I just want to say something about that real fast. So I have the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. I love the consoles, right? But for people that are like stressing that they haven't got one yet, I can assure you that you haven't missed anything yet. It'll probably be 6 to 12 months before you really lose out, because all the games that are on both consoles are on the last gen console. You can still party up with the people. So if you have friends that are on PS5, and you're on PS4, you can still get in the party chat with them. The same thing with Xbox. Like, there's no games except for NBA 2K21 Next Gen that is only on the next gen consoles. Everything else relatively looks the same. It's literally a hype train for the new consoles. And I'm telling you, there's nothing that you're missing that you absolutely, except if you're a 2K fan. Everybody else, you haven't missed anything. So, you know, I would advise you guys not pay $1,000 for a console. It's really not that serious, but for some people it is. I pay retail for both of my consoles, so I got lucky.
You know, it would be different if none of the games they were coming out with were not going to be on PS4 anymore. Like, that would be different if they're like, we come up with a new one, so everything's PS5 from here on out. But like you said, you got 12. You got a good year before they stop making PS4 games and they go to PS5. Then 2 years from now, it's going to be a PS6 or whatever they're going to do. You know?
Yeah. Last question. What is your not top 2 games of the last 10 years? 2 games that's just absolute ass. Just absolute garbage.
Wow. Far Cry Primal.
God damn. God damn. All right.
I'm looking at myself right now. You know, I used to be a big WWE fan. I'm a big wrestling fan, but I used to play the games all the time. And the games they've come out with recently have just been terrible.
Oh, yeah.
So I would say any one of those, because what they used to do back in the day, they used to do like the Road to WrestleManias. And you would play your character, you'd play anybody. Those used to be the best thing about the games, and then they're like, no, we're gonna cut it short. You're just gonna fight each other. And it was like, well, that's stupid. That's not even the point of playing it anymore. So any of those games would be total trash, total garbage.
So the studio that made the old games that you like, 2K ended up picking up the franchise and it went downhill. That studio left 2K. Yeah. They're working on an AEW game. So I don't know if you watch AEW. I don't watch it, but I'd play the game because of who's making it. So it's probably going to be a really good wrestling game compared to the 2K wrestling garbage.
Yeah.
So, Ride to Hell Retribution, bro. That game is ass. That guy, I swear to God, that game, It's a 0 out of 10. I've never played a game where it has there's nothing about the game that's good. It has 0 redeeming qualities. 0. Everything is bad. The sound is bad. The music is bad. The story is bad. The voice acting is terrible. It's the game is garbage, dude. I had to play that because we do this challenge every now and again on the podcast. We haven't done it in a long time. Called the Game of L's, where you literally give somebody on the panel a bad video game to play, and you have to play it for 4 hours. And then you have to talk about it the next week. You get 4 hours, and you have to talk about it. So somebody gave me that. That game is garbage. What's another game? I was just like,
I'm curious. I'm Googling right now. What are some of the worst games of the decade? I'm just curious about what other people think.
You'll probably see like Rambo. that game, Rambo. That game's terrible. They use the audio from the movie for the cutscenes because they couldn't get anybody to do it.
7, Rambo, the video game.
Yeah. I played this terrible like indie game called We Are Chicago. I don't give a damn anybody's opinion. That game sucks. It's supposed to be about like the Chicago culture. Shit was ass.
Another one that was bad was the Fast and Furious. Have you ever played that game?
The Fast and Furious Crossroads.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's like came out like this year, right?
Yeah, this year, last year. Yeah, that was.
You play? I didn't play it.
Well, I'm just a big Fast and Furious fan, so I was gonna see what the game was gonna be about. Dude, it was bad.
You want to hear something disappointing?
What's that?
Okay, have you ever played Midnight Club?
I didn't think I've heard of it.
Okay, so
I know I'm a bad gamer. I haven't heard it.
No. So we've all been disappointed in Rockstar. They only put out one game this past gen. Back in the PS3 era, they put out like 3 games or 4 games. PS2, they put out like 8 games, dude. Now we just keep getting GTA 5. But anyway, they put out a racing game that people love called Midnight Club, and I think there was 2 or 3 of those games. So yeah, Rockstar, the creators of GTA Red Dead, put out like 3 racing games that people loved. So they had never put out another one. Unfortunately, I read that they purchased the studio that owns the Fast and Furious Crossroad developers. So if that's the kind of game they putting out, I'm a little disappointed. Sorry, you haven't put out a racing game and then you picking up the studio that made that trash. So
yeah,
it's not good.
Yeah. Well, look, real quick. I want to do something real quick because I thought this would be interesting. If you're cool with it, you got time. Games that you would wish they would make based on characters, or etc.
Based on give me an example.
Okay, so on mine, a game that I wish they would make would be like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, like a great.
A real one game. Did you play the last one?
A real one, not that crap they put out 4 or 5 years ago. That piece of crap. It was like playing. It was like playing the arcade game at Pizza Hut on a PlayStation, which it was bad.
I bought it. I wish they stopped doing games that only have couch co-op. Like you can have couch co-op, but you have to have multiplayer co-op. I hate that. Terrible. That did that. Me and my friends bought it. We're gonna play this. No, you're not. Couch co-op. Okay. Ninja Turtles.
I've also got like a Planet of the Apes. Maybe you could play as like maybe you could play like the scientist. You could play as the apes. Something like that.
There was a game that came out for that like 2 years ago. Maybe last year. Just so you know. Did you know that?
No, I did it. A Planet of the Apes. Are you serious?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, good.
No
That's
way.
on PS4. Type in Planet of the Apes PS4. I'm pretty sure that there's a Planet of the Apes and there's also a Terminator PS4 game as well. If I'm not mistaken.
No way. I'll be a motherfucker.
You see it? I didn't play
Yeah,
it, but I seen that it existed.
Last Frontier.
Yep. Damn.
Well, I guess you scratch that from my list then.
Yeah, but that's not like a real like it's not the game. That game that came out is not the kind of game that you will want. So your point still stands. Ninja Turtles is fire.
I'm just a big Ninja Turtles fan, man. Like just
the original
TV show, the original '90s movies. Those were good. Yeah.
Honestly, I played a Deadpool game in 2013. It was cool.
Yep.
But I would love
it was all right.
A budget Deadpool game. Like, you know, get Ryan Reynolds to do the voice acting again because he did it for the game, but like really flesh out the gameplay.
No, he didn't. Ryan Reynolds didn't do it for the game.
He didn't? Who did it? Some random dude.
It was not Ryan Reynolds, because the only reason I know he did not do it is because I was watching a YouTube video the other day and he was playing the Deadpool game and was like, I wonder why they didn't ask me to do the voice.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Let me see. Yeah, Nolan North did the voice of Deadpool in the Deadpool video game.
Oh, he did I think he did Iron Man on the Avengers, and he does Nathan Drake, I believe. That's the same guy. I think that's him. Nolan North. He's a prominent voice actor. Okay. But Deadpool can't really go wrong with like a X-Men game unless Square Enix does what they did with the Avengers. Sidebar, there's an Avatar game that's supposed to come out, right?
I'm not an Avatar fan, so
yeah,
I wouldn't know.
It's Ubisoft. So when the two they had like 2 or 3 movie sequels that were scheduled like years ago. When the sequel comes out, they're supposed to release a game with it. I'm gonna
wait
play.
a second. What do you mean Avatar? The blue guys or the
blue guys? Not the Last Airbender.
Oh, okay, that's what I was thinking about. Yeah, okay, yeah, I enjoy Avatar then. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a couple more on here. Mine would be like either a Joker or a Venom based game, just because those are my favorite villains.
Of course.
How cool would it be to go and how cool would it be to go and play as Joker and just destroy everything and play it from a different perspective of fighting Batman? I think that would be cool, in my opinion.
We have any villain game? Suicide Squad is coming. Because I think it says something about killing Superman on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Did you see the trailer for that by chance?
Mm-mm.
When you get some time.
I've seen the trailer for the movie, not the video game.
Yeah, when you get some, because it's the studio that's working on that is the studio that did the Batman game. So they're good at what they do, you know. And then
so it's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, and then the Gotham Knights. Did you see that trailer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that.
That studio is the studio that did Batman Origins. So the 2 studios that worked on Batman games are each doing those 2 games that I said. I would love a Joker game. I would love a villain game, period, where you know you play as the other side of the coin.
When you
go ahead.
You kind of were in Last of Us too. You were kind of playing as the villain, that chick, but I mean,
it felt like it, and then you realize when you see her story that she's not really a villain. I know a lot of people think she is, but considering what transpired with her family member, I understood her story. Honestly, she had a good story. That ending, though, boy.
She just let her go. She went all that way to kill her, and it's like, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna
let you go. I'm gonna play this guitar at the end and really rub it in your face. That guitar took me away. All right,
man.
I don't know. That's kind of a hard question because it's like I feel like all of our answers are going to end up being like superheroes or like heroes or villains. Like anything that's not that's kind of a hard.
Get this. What if they did like a Cowboys and Indians game? Like an actual
back in like the 1500s, where it was like the Indians versus the Cowboys. You got to pick a side and play on that.
That would be cool. The closest thing I played to that is a game called Gun. It came out on PS2.
I played that.
Great game.
I played that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that doesn't really count. I mean, you fight Indians, but that would probably be cool. I mean, it would never hurt to make another like noir detective style game, and I really wish we got another one of those, but the studio that made LA Noire closed like 3 months after it came out in 2010. So
I mean, give us a good Transformers game, not the crap we've gotten before.
I never played those. People told me they're good, but I seen them and I was like,
I like the first. I like the first one they put up for PlayStation 2 a long time ago, but the one they put up PS3 was kind of AIDS or crap. I mean, yeah.
Maybe Jurassic Park was cool. Big budget.
You know, they did do one. Did you know that? They did the Jurassic World. They did a Jurassic World Evolution.
That's on PS4?
Dude, that game is excellent. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but you get to play as a scientist and create dinosaurs and different species. And I thought it was fantastic.
I mean, like, that sounds fun. I'm going to check that out. I mean, like, the actual, like, an action adventure game where you're in the
you're
park.
Running away from the dinosaurs.
Yeah, shit just start going crazy.
That happens. That happens in this one, but it's not to the extent of what you're talking. Like, you get to roll in the ball and run away from the dinosaurs and stuff like that. But okay. I understand what you're saying. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Lastly, I would think, because we had the stupid. I thought the Friday the 13th game that came out was kind of stupid, but I want like my favorite is kind of like Freddy Krueger. Like, why can't you just create a story around that? And either you can pick to be the villain, Freddy Krueger, or you can be the characters, and it's like an evolving movie in a game. Like, you know, like you're trying to stay awake, you're doing all this stuff. I know that would kind of be hard to do, but nothing's hard to do in 2020.
They could do it.
All the technology we got.
I'd play that. This is back in NES. The Friday the 13th when there was ass. The game is ass. That game is terrible.
That game is bad. You
have no idea. And it's hard. Like, it's a hard game to play. Yeah, that Friday 13th is bad. That Alien Predator game or Predator, whatever that is, that game's garbage too. It came out like 3 months ago.
I saw you play it, but I never watched it. But
I'm not talking about.
I heard it was bad.
I'm not talking about Alien Isolation. I actually really like that game. I'm talking about.
Okay.
It's like. Did you ever play Evolve? Game is garbage.
Did I play Evolve?
That was like 2015.
I guess it answers your question. I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about. But I don't know if I ever played it.
The new Predator game is more like that, not the single player Alien Isolation. That game is, to me, drastically underrated. By the way, it's a good game. I ain't never played that game. Scared the shit out of me. Like, you know, because the alien was really smart. Like, man, that did a good job with that game. So,
plus they did like that Saw game. Did you ever play that?
I played the first one.
It
was cool. It was funny.
That's what I'm saying. They did it with that. So I don't see how they couldn't do like a better Friday the 13th type of game like that.
So I feel like what they'll do, all these games that we want, they're going to take them and they're going to turn them into multiplayer games. And then, you know, they're going to create a place where people can buy things so they can do it that way. They'd rather do that than put out a single player game where they don't really make money after launch. It's kind of how they do. Hey, kitty.
Well, what you got going on today? As we wind down here.
I work out in a little bit. I just need to edit a couple videos. Call of Duty funny moments, probably, and something else. I hang out with the guy. I'm taking it easy today.
Do those take longer? Like the compilations, do those take longer to do besides like actual putting the games up?
Man, you have no idea. Yes, dude. Like
I don't have no idea. I'm serious.
So, all right, like, all right. So walkthrough game, it does take some time. But like, let's say, so I recorded 6 walkthrough videos yesterday. For the games, I never had to take a break. I didn't have to get up and use the bathroom and all of that. So it was just one recording. I put my face cam, my green screen effect on there. We good to go. To edit those, it takes longer to make the thumbnails for those videos than to edit those videos. Right? Maybe 15 minutes to edit those. Compilations. The last compilation I did took me 10, 12 hours. I have to go to every video. So The Last of Us was a 51 video series. I had to go through 51 videos, go in the comments, screenshot comments that I was going to use, get the clips that they recommended for every video. Then I had to do it for, at that time, I did 3 games. So I probably went through 120 videos for that. Then I have to get the clips, edit the clips. If I'm doing any effects, that could take a while. Put the comments on. Yeah, dude, that's like 12 hours. So I had 12 hours, 15 minutes. So yeah, they take quite a while. They take quite a while. So that's why I don't do them every damn 2 days or anything like that.
Yeah. Thanksgiving was good and all that?
Yeah. I'm good. Everything's good. We did have a little COVID scare though, but her test came back negative, so we're good. Good.
Your girl?
Mm-hmm. She's good. Everybody good.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, well, man, look, I'm gonna let you off here. We've been going 90 minutes.
Okay.
I didn't plan on it going this long, but I know you got to go. You got stuff to do, so I'll let you go. But you can follow xChaseMoney on Twitter at xChaseMoney. You don't have Instagram or anything like that, huh?
Nope, I do. I don't post it, so yeah, just Twitter's fine. Twitter's fine.
All right, so yeah, just xChaseMoney on Twitter. Go to YouTube, watch the videos, all that. So, yeah, man. Look, I appreciate you coming on here. I do. I know I can irritate sometimes, but it's like my schedule is so tight at times where it's just like, okay, I need to know, boom, 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 because if not, then I'm gonna forget.
Yeah, no, you're good. Appreciate the invite. Thanks for having me. Hopefully I can come back again whenever you got some other stuff you want to do. I'll free up some time.
Yeah, man. We'll get you back on. I'll get you back on next year sometime, which it's like next year, but it's decent.
Yeah.
I'll get you back next time. I'll have some ideas, and I'll get with you, and we'll figure something out.
For sure. Just hit me up, man. Whenever.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
All right. Be safe.
All right, you too. Bye.